Okay, are y'all ready for this? We're actually going to finish with the green, and then next time we can move on to the next color. And next will be a flower. I'm not going to bore us with the background yet. We're going to move on to a flower next because I like to do the light colors before the dark colors. And we've got one of the flowers that is lighter, so we're going to do it next. The only reason I went ahead and knocked all this green out was because it's good practice before we get to the flowers. Okay, here we go again. Now, this time we're going to throw out the light, and because we're looking at things that are down on the bottom. So remember, we usually remove the lightest. And what I really want to concentrate on, I think, first is let's look at the ones that are actually in the very, very back. So let's go to the two darkest colors. This is on top of this. This is on top of this. What's in the very back? These things are in the very back. So I am going to go through, and for the most part, these are going to be pretty dark. Anything that is overlapping one of these is going to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to put the dark at the very edge. So I darkened, darkened, darkened. There's nothing else on top of it. Blend that out just a touch. Go to the other dark. It's just one step lighter, but it's enough to give it a little bit of depth, hopefully. Remember, I said you don't ever jump 2 or 3 colors. You can go every other color, but if you jump much more than that, you're setting yourself up for more hard work on blending. Okay, now let's find another one of those. Here's another one. This is underneath. This is under the edge of the border. This is underneath. Then I'm going to get lighter so that it's easier to blend. And everything else is just flat. Nothing over the top. So we're going to come in with the lighter of the two darks and do the rest of it. What I want to do is push these, so to speak, to the very back where it's just on top of the background. And the only way to do that is to make them darker so they look like they're further away. Okay? Here's another one. The only thing it's under is that stem. Here's one. It's under right there. It's under here. Blending out a little bit. It's questionable if it's under there or right at the tip, so I went ahead and did it. It's under right here. And then it runs along here. That's going to be background color, that little bitty dip in there. Okay, so let's do both of those then. The next up dark color, or the next lighter of our two dark colors. Are you understanding as we get further into this why I picked 4 dark colors? We use all 4 of them together very seldom, but we use the 3 lighter ones on the upper stuff and the 3 darker ones on the lower stuff. And so it just helps if I pull extras that I know will go together to start with. Then all my colors are picked and I don't have to stop and think, oh, what's going to go with that? Okay, so that's hopefully something you're starting to see. That's just under that. I'm going to go ahead and do these tips. I'm going to do that tip because it is just slightly under that. And I don't want these to be just solid blobs of dark. So that's why even if you don't see a lot under. We're going to do some just so that we get two colors in here. I don't want it to be just solid one color. Even my background will not be solid one color. I don't want it flat. The whole idea of this lesson is to blend and to try to make things look more three-dimensional instead of flat. Okay, and this should be pretty easy now that we've gone through some of those leaves. I thought that we would get those leaves knocked out first, and then by the time you get here, it would be like a little reprieve or rest time, because these would seem easier after what you've been through with the leaves, because that was a lot. That was a whole lot. If you're still with me, kudos. Kudos for you. You've done well. And I think you're going to be very happy with your very end piece. Now, you probably can't see it, but I can see just a little there where I got out. So I'm going to go ahead and lift that. That way, if I lift too much, I have my pencils right here and I could fix it. I could have done it later, but then I would have had to have gone back and found the right pencils to have fixed it with. So it's just easier to fix it as you go. Okay, this is off the side of the page. This is off the side, and it just gives me a chance to add a little bit of darker color. Can you see that? Was my hand in the way? Okay, there's some. Here's some. And that might even have been one of these bigger leaves. Either way, we're picking it up now and it's getting done. So it doesn't really matter. We would have done it about the same way had it been a regular leaf as one of these tendrils. Getting all these little tendrils done though. And then we'll do the little bitty curls that are left. They almost look like thorns or little bud areas. So we will do those after this and then be finished with the greens. For you that have been on the coloring book Keep It Clean site from the very beginning with me when I first started in March 2016. Do you remember our first challenge? It was any page with green leaves. And when we were finished, some of you were so sick of green leaves. But do you remember the next page you did? A lot of you came back and said, oh my gosh, the green leaves were so easy. If you have something that's more difficult for you and you tackle it and you practice it, it's going to get easier. Yeah, don't run from what's hard. Just go ahead and tackle it and get it done. Now, I'm not telling you a lot about what I'm doing here, but you're watching. Everything I just did had something overlapping it. Okay? So all I did was what was tucked underneath that would have been a shadow. That's all I'm doing, getting these shadows in. Then I'm coming in with the next up color and filling it in. Still trying not to just scribble at it. You're going to see me do little circular motions from now, time to time. Just whenever I can get them in there, I'm going to. Because I know that's what keeps the piece from looking scribbled. I went back and was re-watching one of the videos, and I noticed my yellows here look awfully bright, the chartreuse, but I think I like it. I may come back later and put some purple down in here just to really deepen that up to offset that. I'm not sure yet. Remember I said at the first that I might come back with purple in the end to add some deeper shades in different places. Okay, going back to the dark one. Just getting what's tucked underneath. Working along. As you look at this, would you think there's only 4 different greens in here? Or maybe more, or maybe less? Yeah, it's just all about the blending. Okay, we're finished there. Those are little tendrils, little tendril leaf pieces. Okay, there's one there. So what's right under the edge? Yeah, if this video was a little later getting out, I'm sorry. Takes these videos quite some time to upload to YouTube because they're so long. And it's actually a 3-year anniversary today from my mom being gone. Yeah, I know, thank you. Been doing pretty good. Been pretty good. Last week was harder, and I'm not sure really why. But anyway, I digress. Hubby said we were going out for dinner tonight instead of me cooking. He said we needed to get out. So this is not going to get uploaded until we get back home later. So that's why it was so late in getting to you. I'm thinking ahead in the process of how things are going to happen later. And I just know it's going to be later getting up than what the other 4 were. Can't believe how we're scooting along on this. Okay, now I haven't been talking to you about what I was doing. I hope you were watching. All I was doing was tucking the dark color under, right? It went under. It went under. So that's all I was doing. And now I'm coming back in and doing what's left and just kind of blending and shading. So if it was tucked under something, then it got that darker green. If it's out in the middle, then it got the other green. Remember, we're working with our 2 darkest greens on this. And I'm sure as we go through, I'm probably going to find something that I've missed. And that's all the more reason why I write my colors on the back of the page I'm working on. Now, this one, it's under right here at the edge, and it's under right here. That's it. The rest of this is going to be this color. If I were to go any darker on this, it would push it to the back, and I want this to look like it's on top of that leaf. So if it's lighter, it brought it up a scale. Okay? So that one's a little tricky. But anyway, yeah, craft show this weekend. I believe tomorrow I have 1 errand, maybe 2. So maybe I can get through some flowers tomorrow with you. I know some of you have been finished and caught up as I'm going, and you're just anxious to, whoops, that is that. So I don't want to do that. That's the tendril that comes around. And I thought that was part of this, but it's not. It's the other tendril that's hooking on there. So let's not go there. I'm not going to erase that though because I didn't do enough to make a difference. And I forgot that's tucked under right there. And that will probably be that color or one color up. So I'm just not going to take the time to erase it right now. But yeah, some of the ladies over on Coloring Books Keep It Clean have really been keeping up with these videos. And if you're keeping up with them faster than what I'm coloring them, now I know I'm talking along with them, but if you're keeping up even quicker, then double check your work and make sure you're getting it blended and that it's not looking all scratchy or streaked. Okay, now I do see right here there's a very definite line there that I don't like. So I'm going to blend this color up in here a little bit. And then take the color one down and blend up into there. As you find things, stop and fix them. That, oh, I'll get to it later. You may or may not. Okay, let's put these back in color order. There we go. And now what we've got to do is just these little bits. And we're going to look at these. That's on top, 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 top. Are any of these underneath? They are not. Looky there. What'd we miss? See that stem? And it's underneath, so I can do that all dark. And I can get it all dark right there. Good eye. Thanks for pointing that out. I know somebody saw it. Okay, so all of these are on top. Nothing is over the top of them like this is over the top of this. They're all on top. So what we're going to do, oops, and I just missed this. I had done the bottom piece. I had not done the top color. What we're going to do is we're going to take out the two darkest and we're going to move in with the two lightest. Because these are on top, they'll be brighter. The sun's hitting them. Got it? Okay, so we're going to do the tips light. Okay, that's the only two in that area. As you get used to what you're doing, you can do them in areas like that. Okay, let's look at this area. This is a tip. This is a tip. This is a tip. Nothing else right there. So now we're going to put the medium color in. Do you see how I'm blending that? I'm just coming down and then stroking into it. And it's blending. That's really all you need to do. Let's do this little area. And see, because it's on top, see how light it is? That's underneath. And that really popped that to the top. Then the other shade. Blend that in. Really hard to do circles here, so just do light marks back and forth. Whoops, there's another one right here. The tip is on this side. Nope, wrong. Tip's out here, which means it should be a little bit darker on this side. There we go. Here's some here. Here's the tips. This is the tip because there's that little piece that comes off of it. Okay. Then the medium. Now this lesson should be a whole lot easier for y'all. Okay, we're just finishing up the green. If you find any green that you still need work on, pause the video and go back and work on it. There's no shame in pausing a video. That's why it's video, so that you can pause and go back and forth. Otherwise, I would have just done a blog and said, look at the picture, go for it. I want you to be able to pause this and color along. Okay? That's exactly why. Okay, so that's this little area. Let's do the mediums. Another thing I could do if I weren't talking to you through it is I could be counting how many I do each time, and then I would know when I got them all with the second color. See that? Pop that way up on top of that, and it matches this because these two are on top of this. So if your colors are looking different like that, keep going. You're doing it right. There's another one. Did I miss any? I think I got all those. Okay, let's go over to this corner. Am I still on? Yep, and we're still rolling. So what is this, like 3 hours just to do the green? My word. When I first started painting leaves, one of my instructors told me, she goes, it's not too bad. If it's green, people will understand it's supposed to be a leaf. I was like, oh my gosh, that bad, huh? And then here I am today. Videos on YouTube. Who knew? All right, I'm up here in this area. And we already have our next picture pulled, and it's posted on the Coloring Books Keep It Clean page. So if you're a member, get yourself on over there and print that one out. Print it out twice. And get it colored, because that's where I'm going after these are all finished. Okay, I think I got all those. Now here we go. Someone's like, well, isn't it weird talking to us when we're not really there and it's just a camera? No, I just pretend you're here. I just talk. Everybody knows I'm crazy anyway. Nuts. I try to anticipate what somebody might ask. So, okay, I'm not seeing anything unless y'all are. So that's that. I will keep these greens pulled in case we run across anything. I will tell you the next thing we're going to work with is going to be my Marco Renoirs. And I will list the colors next time when we start one of the flowers. So, in the meantime, have fun, finish up all the greens, take a break, and I will see you probably tomorrow. All right, have a good evening.